there, and welcome to another episode of One Email, Two Takes. I'm Will Allred, and this week we're taking an email that I was helping someone with, and we're going to break it down into what's great about it, what's not so great about it, and we're going to rewrite it. And I'm going to walk you through that process. And so, quick intro on me. I'm Will Allred. I'm one of the co-founders at a company called Lavender. We help sales reps write better emails faster. We see millions of emails go through our product every single month, and so I've got a lot of data to point at. And one of the data points I'm going to be pointing at this week is simplicity. The email that we have is written at an 11th grade reading level, which is not far from the average, but far from the optimal. So the thing with this email is the intention behind it is awesome. When I talk to sales reps, one of the things that I'm constantly trying to remind them of is your job as a seller is to help the other person on the other end achieve and get to some desired state and be better at what they do. And that's exactly the intentionality behind this note. The execution is just a little lacking. And so the subject line goes, company name, acquisition and retention. Will, noticed some recent tweets about businesses receiving emails with leads from blank, the company, without having ever signed up for the service and no way to opt out of the emails. Don't worry, this happens to other businesses too. Not only is this posing risk to your company's reputation, it could damage the company's email deliverability down the road. I imagine this would be a major roadblock to your company's growth. Our data-driven automated messaging platform can resolve this by creating messaging campaigns based on actual user behavior. This way, only users who have interacted with your company will receive messages and the content will be personalized to their actions. Is this a challenge that's top of mind for you in 22? Would you be interested in learning more about how we can help? Best, this sales rep. So looking at this message, there's a couple things. One, the subject line doesn't really speak to the subject of the email. Right? If I'm thinking about what this email is about, it's the tweets. That's like a pretty decent hook, right? People are talking about you on the internet. And so when I went to rewrite this, I actually kept that because I think it's important. I think going too deep on the topic, you could definitely lighten that up some and just kind of reference it. But I will say it's a good linchpin for reaching out, right? It says like, hey, I'm here to help and I'm trying to, at least. I'm looking out for your best interest. The challenge is, this second paragraph. So telling them that it's a risk to their reputation, it's going to be a big roadblock for you. That's a lot for somebody to pick up in a first introduction, right? It's like if I met you and you told me, I saw your job title at a networking event and I started telling you about major roadblocks in your career, right? It's a lot to handle. It's like, oh, okay. Who are you and why are you coming at me so hard, right? And so I think there's better ways to approach this. When I went to rewrite this, the thing that I focused on was actually giving them the benefit of the doubt, which I can see with the don't worry, this happens to other businesses too. This person's really trying to showcase like, don't worry, you're not alone. It's not a big deal. That's good for creating safe space. But I think we have to take it a step further and really say, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. You've got, I went to the company's job board and I went and saw a certain technology tool that they used. Now, this third paragraph, it's a little wordy. Data-driven automated messaging platform, resolve, creating messaging campaigns, behavior, interacted, received messages, personalized. All these big words just like cloud up the idea of what it is that you do. They have technology that actually does a lot of the same things. And so I think that's important to call out and acknowledge and say, listen, I did my research. I'm aware of the fact that you're using similar technologies, right? That sort of makes it easier for you to explain what it is that you do. And then last but certainly not least, the CTA is a little long. It's actually a double ask, which I'm not against, but I'm more of a fan of keeping it short and brief. So let me go through my updates on this. I made it a little bit more personal about me because I'm a selfish individual. All right. Subject line is check tweets. Will, have you seen these tweets about lavender? Folks are saying your team is emailing them, but they didn't opt in and they can't opt out. Given your team is using blank, it should be an easy fix. Great tech. Usually when folks move from them to us, it's because we're a little easier to use, plus a lot less expensive. Open to seeing if our capabilities cover your needs. Worst case, I figured you'd want a heads up. Well, thinking around here is taking a lot of the same core elements from that original email, calling out like, hey, did you see those tweets? It's a little bit more conversational. And then folks are saying your team is emailing them, they didn't opt in, can't opt out. These are solvable problems. And so I call that out. It's like, okay, I know you're using this technology, should be an easy fix. It's great tech. Just give them the benefit of the doubt, right? You picked a great technology tool. It's just a quick error that's easy to fix. Usually when folks move from them to us, so now I'm building credibility. I'm saying, listen, people are jumping ship and joining our team. And it's because we're a little easier to use. That people don't make those kinds of mistakes because our technology is easier. Also, it's a lot less expensive. It's a nice like jab. You could be saving money if you're looking at making a switch. Then shorten up that CTA, open to seeing if our capabilities cover your needs. If you're thinking about what's going to go through their head after you say it's less expensive and easier to use, they're going to think to themselves, that probably doesn't cover exactly what I need from a capability perspective. And so I want to make sure I cover that right then and there within the CTA. And then last, but certainly not least, I just make a nod to the original personalization. Worst case, I figured you'd want a heads up. It's a nice way of saying like, listen, I'm just here to be helpful. So that's the rewrite. Hopefully you found it informative. You learned a couple things. And when you see a prospect making a mistake, you don't necessarily come in too hot and you come in at a better place. Super excited. My colleague Christina is coming back in the next couple of weeks, and we're even putting on a webinar with sales hackers. So we're going to do a lot of teardowns and a lot of rewrites, and we're going to do them live. So hope to see you there. That'll be happening in early March, by the way. But appreciate y'all. Thank you. And until next time, looking forward to it. Thanks.